If you could take my pulse right now, it would feel just like a stage hammer. If you could feel my heartbeat now, it would hit you like a stage hammer. This is how we do, yeah. Chillin' laid back, straight starting, yeah, we do it like that. This is how we do, do. This is how we do. This is how we do, yeah. Chillin' laid back,
So
straight
for these first
starting, yeah,
cupcakes, we're gonna make these little cross ones. Hey guys, so for these cupcakes, all you're gonna need is some flour, sugar, milk, some cake mix, vanilla extract, baking powder, kosher salt, butter, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So all you're gonna do is mix all of your ingredients into the bowl. I am just following the instructions on the back of the cake mix box, and we are combining the cake mix and flour and baking powder all into the sifter, and it was very difficult trying to get it all into the sifter, which we didn't, and we made a huge mess. But long story short, it's much easier if you mix it all in a bowl, but it called for sifting, so that's what we did. So then after that, all you're going to want to do is get a cup and fill it up 3/4 of the way with some milk. And then you're going to want to get some butter and put it into your KitchenAid or mixer, whatever kind of mixer you have, or you don't have to use it. And then we are just adding some sugar into the bowl. Now again, I am following the instructions off of the cake mix box, so I do not know the measurements offhand, but whatever kind of cake mix or cupcake mix you decide to get, just follow those instructions. So all we're doing is just mixing it and then putting the little paper cupcake things into the cupcake pan. Now I don't know what these are called, but I'm just gonna call them cupcake paper things. Now you're gonna want to take your vanilla extract and pour it into the cup of milk. And then you're just going to want to stir that in, and then when you're done, you're going to want to crack some eggs into the KitchenAid. I crack them into a separate bowl just because I don't like the shell to get in there, but you can do whatever you want. So I'm just putting the eggs into the KitchenAid mixer along with the milk. And then all I'm doing is just adding in the dry ingredients that we mixed up earlier and just mixing it all together. So once you're done, just put the cupcake/cake mix into the little cupcake holders and then pop it in the oven for however long the box tells you to bake it for and whatever heat. And then once your cupcakes are done, just pull them out of the oven and set them on a drying rack to help them cool extra quickly. So then on to the frosting. All you're going to need is some cream cheese, powdered sugar, and all you're going to do is put the powdered sugar into a cup, and you will need 8 cups of powdered sugar. And then you just pour that into your mixer, or if you want to hand mix it, that's fine. So you just pour it into your bowl. So on to the icing. All you're going to need is some sugar, kosher salt, heavy whipping cream, pecans, corn syrup, some coconut shreds, butter, and some baking powder. So then all you're going to do is fill up 1 cup with some heavy whipping cream, and then you're going to want to turn on the stove and add your corn syrup, and you need 1 tablespoon of that, and then you're going to pour in a cup of water and some sugar.
Trying to break the chains, but the
And then you're going to want to stir it until it sizzles and turns like a pretty amber color, and then you're gonna add the butter. But before you add the butter, turn the stove off. Now if you don't keep mixing it, it will turn into like this hard, like sugar crystallized stuff, so you definitely want to keep mixing it. So then you're just going to want to finish combining everything into your little bowl, and then it should look a little bit something like this. So this is for the brittle, and then all we're doing is just putting the icing all over the cupcakes and adding caramel. You're supposed to pump the caramel into the middle, but that didn't really work out. So once we were done with that, we just took the brittle and squished it all up, or crushed it all up, and then added it to our cupcakes. So to make the crosses, all you're going to need is some chocolate chips, some parchment paper, and a bowl. So all you're going to do is just pour some of the chocolate chips into the bowl. So then all you're going to do is just put the bowl of chocolate into the microwave and leave it in there until it comes out like all chocolatey and chocolate fountainy, so it's kind of like watery, yeah. So all I'm doing is taking parchment paper and putting 4 small candles on all the corners, and then I'm making the crosses. Now I definitely messed up on these, so I just had some fun and we perfected them later. After that, we just stuck in the chocolate crosses that we made, and voila, you are finished. So for this next cupcake, we're going to make this adorable bunny jumping into grass. Moving on to the adorable bunny cupcakes, all you're going to need is some water, eggs, vegetable oil. We didn't have vegetable oil, so we just used canola oil. Also, I am just reading off the box of this cupcake mix, so I don't know all the ingredients offhand, but just get a box of like chocolate cupcake mix and just read all the ingredients. So then all we're doing is just adding the little cupcake paper things again, because I don't really know what they're called. We're just adding them into the cupcake pan and adding the cupcake mix, and then popping that in the oven. So now moving on to the icing, all you're going to need is some green food coloring, and the icing that I showed you guys how to make before, you're just going to take some of that and add your green food coloring to that and mix it all up until you get the color that you prefer or the color that you like. We went with kind of like a light green. I kind of wish it came out a little darker, but it turned out super cute. So then you're just going to want to get a piping bag and get a tip so you can do grass with it, and then we're just piping the grass onto the cupcake, and I love how this turned out. It's super cute. You can leave it like this if you would like, or you can turn it into these little bunnies. So all you're going to do is make a ball of fondant and stick that onto the cupcake. Then you just want to add some like baking glue onto it. I don't know what it's called, but you just want to do that, and then add the little feet that you made out of fondant as well. And then you're just going to want to take a smaller ball of fondant and stick that onto the tail, but you want to roll it in sugar first so it looks all sparkly, and then you are going to want to draw like little, I don't know, paw prints onto the feet, and yeah. And then we just added some pink fondant to the bottom of the feet. I can also add some flowers, but we didn't have time, but I think it would add a nice little touch. The next cupcake that we are going to be making is this vanilla one with these adorable bunny ears. So onto the vanilla cupcakes, all I'm doing is following the instructions on the box again, because I just got a vanilla cupcake mix. And then we are just putting the mix into the little cupcake holders and popping that in the oven. So now all I'm doing is putting the frosting into the piping bag and just piping that onto the cupcake. Now this one didn't turn out that great because it was the first one we did, but the rest came out really cute. So So here we are just rolling out the fondant. Now you can get fondant at Michael's. So all we're doing here is just cutting out some little white bunny ears, and then we took some fondant and dyed it pink, and all we're going to do with that is make some smaller bunny ears, like the same shape, and then put the smaller bunny ears on top of the bigger ones to create this little bunny ear effect, and you are done with this cupcake.
This is how we do.